prizes to be won at the end of the presentation. Okay, so the right mix inspires action from shoppers, from those that are buying. Multi-channel advertising, I'll tell you what, when I started at the Inquirer back in 2005, you had like 5 options. It was like the newspaper, the radio, the TV, that's it. There are so many options out there. And I can understand the confusion about digital because like, wow, within digital alone, there's a lot of options. At the end of the day, what matters for where you put your advertising, what matters most is how the consumers are responding when they see the ads. So I wanted to share this general slide with you, and this source is Prosper. This is a third party. This isn't Stephanie and RRD's. This is a third party stat here. In fact, pretty much, I think all of these stats are not my stats. Okay, but what this is saying is what influences a shopper to make a transaction. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Where does the advertising work? So there's my pie chart of 100%. Digital stands the highest at 43%. Print, including magazines, is at 27%, as well as, save shared mail, direct mail would be in that bucket. TV, 12%, radio, 10%, in-store, outdoor. So they're making it, shoppers are getting influenced by this, but when you add print and digital, that's 70% of purchase influence is because of the ads that they see in print and digital combined. Let that resonate. That's a big number. Plumber, I forgot your name, so I'm calling you Plumber. Mike.
On the digital, you have a breakdown of like Facebook and social media versus website?
I probably do, not in this presentation, but I will make a note because I know I've seen it before on digital breakdown.
Second question, I think David alluded to this. Photos of these, or do y'all have this?
I have the presentation sent to Becky. Becky can get it out to everybody that's here. Yeah, but we've got the slides we can provide to you so you don't have to make notes or take screenshots. Yep, great question though. Yeah, because there is a lot of space when we talk about digital. There's a lot in that number. So 43%. So at the end of the day, what matters is that someone sees the ad and they take action, and they're taking action because of what is in their mailbox through direct mail, shared mail, magazines, as well as on their computer. The rest of it is fine. It's lovely. But if I had to, help you understand where to put your ad dollars, it's not a bad idea to match the percentage of your ad budget with the percentage of the influence. Okay, so it's the synergy equation. It's what we call 1 + 1. So 1 ad in a magazine or print, let's say, plus 1 ad on digital. If you do them simultaneously together, it's the power of 3. And the reason for that is because of, you have that brand recognition. Oh, I saw you here. I saw you there. I'm more likely to trust and know you, so I'm going to buy from you. So advertising one spot only, is not going to work these days. They have to see you in multiple places. So you'll see here targeting your offline and your online customers with the same message, same consistency. So hopefully you guys got that down, right? The look and the feel of your ads should be consistent across the board. Marketing 101 creates an exceptional return, extending your reach and ensuring your resonance. So here you got your print, your digital, and that's going to equal 3. Okay, on the right-hand side, I have a lot of stats, but these are important just to build credibility with our company. So our company on the digital side, I don't want to get into the weeds, but we own what's called our own tech stack. Okay, we own our own what's called DMP and our own DSP. Basically, we are studying everybody's devices right now, all of the devices. So here's what it says. Okay, we have access and we are staring at 8.6 billion devices every single day, which is basically every device in the country, right? All the devices we have access to because we own our own technology. So we're staring at all of the devices. Underneath that, every day we're looking at 124 billion intent signals. And an intent signal is I recognize that Susie is on her phone looking at content related to inquiring about a roof. She's interested, she's in market, there's an intent there. So we're looking at a lot of intent signals every day. Underneath that, when we run digital ads, we are almost 100%, 99.1% what we call fraud free, because y'all have ever heard of bots. Okay, we have the technology to make sure that the ads that we deliver are going to an absolute real human being. And I'm save it for another day. When how do we do that? They are looking at IP address and this and that. They're just behind the scenes. They know what a bot is. So almost 100% are going to humans. That's a big deal. Back up at the top, 130 million unique personas. That's how many households we're looking at, which is basically every household in the country. And then 33 billion location settings. So with location settings turned on, I can see that Lisa is here at Roosters. We use that type of data to be able to help you with advertising decisions. Where are they? Where have they been? Where do they live? Where are they? Where have they been? And where do they live? Where do they like to go? I'm following them like Life 360. And then the last one on there is 1,300 different interest categories that are backed by 18 patents. So I'm going to get in. So when I say an interest, I can see that, Kennedy is looking at her phone, her tablet, her mobile device, her computer, and I can see that she's constantly interested in not frogs. No, what was it that you're interested in? Film. I can see that she's interested in film because of her device tells us. You can look at somebody's phone and tell a lot about them by what they're interested in. So we have over 1,300 different interest categories. You guys are going to use all of our data to be able to make sure that you're reaching the right person at the right time with the right message. Okay? I'll stop there, see if anybody has any questions, or you can keep raising your hand. We're going to keep going. You guys with me? Good? Okay. So our consumer graph. All right, so this is the biggest slide, I would say, of the entire presentation because it's what fuels results for you. So number one are the raw signals. This is important. This is how you're going to target when we do an advertising campaign. I'm going to talk about 4 different advertising strategies or products that you guys that I'm recommending for you guys because they are the most common 4 products for small businesses. We're going to get into those products in a minute. But what I'm speaking about are going to be relative to all 4 products. But this is how we're going to target. Number 1, demographics. Pretty self-explanatory, but we know through online and offline, which not a lot of companies bring the 2 together. Not to get into the weeds, but how many of you guys know Save Shared Mail? I know a couple of you guys are, Alan's running ads in our Save Shared Mail program. Because of that, we have a relationship with the USPS. We are getting address level data updated every single week. So we take online and offline data, and we merge it together. Therefore, we do understand a lot about the demographics. Age, we understand income, we understand gender, we understand household value. You name it, we probably can target it. So demographics, if that's important to you, oh, I want to reach folks that are 25 to 34 women. Like, I got you. We can help you with that. So you can set your demographic profile. Number 2 are interests. That they're interested in fashion, that they're interested in beauty, that they're interested in skincare or home improvement. I can pull an interest. What we call interest, and remember, we own our own tech stack, is we hold on to that data forever. So I can see that they're interested in that category, film, for a year. That's what we call an interest. You're constantly looking at this information. Oh yeah, it's updated. We own the tech stack, so we can see it's updated.
Do you see when people bounce back and forth between different interests?
We see everything.
That's what I thought.
Short of their social security number and driver's license, I got you.
You're like my Pinterest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social.
I
What's
love
that movie?
that.
The Social Dilemma or the Social
Algorithm.
There's a movie out there that freaked me out, and I sell this stuff.
I was gonna say, you are that person.
Yes, we are that person.
No, I'm actually super glad to see a real person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It actually makes me feel safe.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
but we
cool.
never tie it to CC.
Yep.
I don't know that it's CC. I just know it's device 12875.
Right.
That's all I know. Yeah, we're very correct. We're not allowed. We follow all the personal guidelines. The PI. Yes, absolutely. So next to interest is what's called in market. So similar to, I can see what they're interested over 12 months. In market says, oh, they weren't interested in this, but all of a sudden there's a spike. All of a sudden, skincare is a spike, and they are like, something's going on. So I'm going to go over that in a second. Store visits, like I said, we know where people are. And then purchases. So purchases is through third-party credit card transactions. Like I said, it's online and offline data. So we work with third-party credit card transactions to understand at a neighborhood level where they're spending, you know, like if you get your credit card statement and there's a pie chart and it says, oh, you spend this much on home improvement or pets, or so we can understand at a neighborhood level where they're spending their money. So we got all this data, and this is just a glimpse. I'm just giving you the most common ones, but that's what we do. So we understand the raw data. Then the technology behind it, our DMP is basically the management platform that understands the data. The DSP is over here sending the ads to the ad exchange. It's sending it over to the publishers, and it's delivering the ads. Most companies are separate. We bring it together, which allows it to be more accurate. And we're constantly looking at machine learnings. We can predict the best location, the best bid, and best placement when we do programmatic. Okay, but at the end of the day, you know, that's who we are. But at the end of the day, what we care most about is the result and that it's working for you. So you're going to reach the ideal customer. At the end of the day, because I can target that way, you're going to reach the ideal customer. Okay. So of all of the ways that we can target, my favorite is the in-market signal. Okay, so I have 3 examples here. So I've got the roofer consumer. So here's what we would do for an in-market. So this would be, again, all those 4 different products that I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to target to the roofer. What I mean by that is over the span of the year, they have not been interested in roofing. But over the past 7 days, here's what we've seen. Number 1, they were doing local searches, whether it was on Google, Yahoo. I don't know if Bing is still around. Yeah, Bing's still around. Bing's still around. But we can see that they're doing local searches. Not only that, they're now reading reviews on roofers. Okay, that's more. But also, they're reading articles on like, okay, what kind of roofing, you know, materials should I get? How long does a roof last? Okay, if you're doing all of this, you're interested in a roof, right? So what we want to do is, and raise your hand if you agree, you want to reach that person with an ad. Am I right? Like, sign me up. I want to talk to them. So this is what we call, you know, you've seen the marketing funnel, top brand awareness. We try to have the ads be as bottom funnel as possible. They're in market for your stuff. Okay, so that's one example. The second one is a landscaping example. Okay, they searched for yard cleanup. They browsed outdoor design galleries. They visited a local garden center. Because remember, I can turn on that switch of, I can see where you are, where you've been. So that is one other way that we can see that they're in market. And then the last example is it's a Mexican restaurant. Okay, they want to reach a certain demographic, that they searched best tacos near me and they visited a competitor. Okay, well, that sounds like they would be an ideal customer to come into my restaurant. So that is my favorite targeting. I also like interest, if they're constantly interested in fashion, for example, or they're constantly interested in something. But most of the folks in this room, you qualify for in market, because like skincare, like they're in market all of a sudden for skin, roofing, bath. It's not like you're constantly interested in upgrading your bathtub, right? Or your or plumbing. I mean, you might be interested in plumbing all year. My phone probably thinks I'm interested in plumbing all year long just because we constantly have issues with my kids not knowing to not flush paper towels. So okay. And then tree service. So a lot of what is in this room, you would qualify, and what I would recommend would be in-market signals. Okay, so any questions on the targeting before I jump into what those 4 products are? We're feeling good. Okay. Yeah, so your fashion. So I would think that would be more of an interest long term, as opposed to I'm all of a sudden interested in fashion. No, you're going to be 12 months of constantly interested in fashion. So I want to reach the fashion enthusiast, actually. That's what I would recommend. Okay, so for the 4 products, the first one is the cross-device display. What we have the capability of doing, because again, we own our own tech stack, we can see where the device lives because it's idle at a certain time, etc. What we do is we serve up and deliver ads on the desktop, mobile, and tablet, all devices within the house, because they're connected, because they've shown that they're interested or in market for the thing that you sell, okay? So that's what we do. So we're scanning over 500 million websites every single day. And right out the gate, we ensure that over 70% are at the very top of the page, which is great because you want that instant visibility. Okay, so I'll read this here because it's good. Cross-device display advertising bridges the gap between different screens, such as, and I mentioned this, smartphones, desktop, laptops, to deliver a unified ad experience to a single user. So the single user, all of us, they're on their laptop working, they see your ad, they go to their phone, there they are again. Okay, and then 90% of consumers switch between devices. You guys know that. We're constantly switching our devices. We're on our phone in the morning, our desktop later, laptop, phone. So we want to make sure we're hitting them on all their devices. We can connect to those devices, which is important. The food is coming out. Stay focused. I got prizes at the end. I know once people get food, they're like, no, just kidding.
Do you use any AI?
We're dabbling into it. Not enough to talk about it. They're trying to figure it out, but not necessarily for this. Yeah, maybe for like AI helps me build my presentation. Okay, so this is display advertising on a desktop. So right here is I pulled it from the internet, WLKY. Do any of you guys go to that site? News site, local site. Okay. Through Facebook. So this is a local site. So you have the opportunity, when I talk about program number 1 and doing display advertising, which is the most popular program of all the 4, is display advertising. Popularity, results, everything. This would be mine to go to for number 1. You're going to have the opportunity to put your ad on a local site. You don't need to go over to WLKY and buy ads. You don't need to go over to the other site and to the other site to buy them directly. You just come to me and I put it through the ad exchange on both local as well as national sites like ESPN. Because I don't care what site they're on. What do I care about? You guys know this. So I don't. Thank you, Dave. Good job. You're not supposed to be the one to answer. I'm trying to get your customers engaged. That's true. Fair enough. All you don't care about the site. Why would you buy the site? You don't care about the site. You don't care about that. You care about the fact that they're in market for a tree service because they've done those steps. They've done reviews. They've looked at content. They've looked at searches. So I don't care what site they go to. If they're on ESPN or this local site or weather.com, show my ad, right? And so we have access to every single website that allows for inventory to be sold on it into the ad exchange. Some sites you can't, you have to go directly to. So, there's a few of those. Dave?
You're talking about laptops, phones.
Yeah.
Does it also appear on like smart TVs?
Oh, that's going to be product number 3. Hang tight. Okay. Yep.
So this would be different than anything that shows up on the television.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Correct. That one's going to be I think my number 3. Okay, guys. So I've been in this industry for 21 years selling digital advertising and display. These screenshots that I have here are legit my customers. Budget breaks. Let me tell you about this guy. His name is Michael. He's in Tennessee. He has 16 locations, and he's been running Save Shared Mail for 35 years, if not longer. And I've been like, it's time for you to do digital. He's like, oh gosh, like, I don't know. That was about 7 years ago. Fast forward, he finally, after about 3 years, gave it a try. He spends more now in digital than he does in print. He didn't change his print budget. He just now spends more. Never would have saw that coming because he was hesitant. He's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. And we were able to prove results for him. And I'm going to explain how we proved results with the matchback analysis. I'm going to show you an example of that. And that is how we proved it to him. But business is booming because of him now incorporating digital. Those that are in market for brakes and auto services. Okay, makes sense. So Michael, great guy. Then we've got Goodyear dealers. So that's New England Tire. Again, he's like, I don't know, I've never done digital before. Started it 3 months, 6 months. But he's been doing it for about 3 or 4 years now, and it hasn't skipped a month because of the results and how strong that is working for his 3 stores. I had a screenshot here, and it just went away. Yeah, you guys can't see it, but it's carrying transitions. So that's one. Okay, so carrying transitions, pretend it's here. It really is, I can see it. So carrying transitions, first time ever running digital display, wanted to see how it performed. The results were so strong that their parent company called Strategic, I don't handle the account anymore, so I forget. It's like Strategic something. I forget the parent name. Apologies. But the parent, he recommended us to another branch of the parent company so that other divisions are now running. And so it continues to run. So that's 3. And then I've got this one over here, Buckeye EcoCare. They have been running with us, I want to say about 5 years with digital, and constantly continues to renew because of the results. Again, they utilize the matchback analysis, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I just wanted to give you some visual examples of what a digital display ad looks like. You get multiple sizes. When I click on it, what happens? It takes you to the website. It takes the consumer to the website so that they can learn more, right? They can see more detail, they can inquire, etc. That's what happens when they click on the website. So Becky, doing her due diligence, said, I love what you guys have to offer, but let me try it first for my business to make sure it works before I do a lunch and learn. So look at this. Becky is buying what I'm recommending to you. These are some ads that are running right now for locally unique marketing, saying and this for Lexington, we help Lexington small businesses increase sales through digital, web design, and direct mail. So I have an in-market target. So all the in-market signals I have, we looked at the in-market for, they're in-market for looking for a website, for marketing and advertising in general, and something else. Digital advertising, I think it was. So these ads are being delivered to those in market. So I don't know if you want to share any experience, how it was working with me, the results that you're seeing, etc., on your campaign.
Very, very easy process to do. Stephanie and I just kind of broke down. Obviously, you can see that there's not a lot of space, right? So, and people aren't going to read a whole bunch. You're just trying to grab their attention, just like your print ad. You're just trying to grab the attention and get them to do a call to action. And so clearly you can see that there's a free console, and that takes them.
Yeah.
When they click on that to our website, I have a database where I can track to see how many clicks I'm getting, how when they're coming, and then I've had results based on people going on the website and filling out the form.
Exactly.
So it's been really successful. We've been doing it for 2 months now. 2 months doesn't paint a picture, right? We have this conversation with print advertising when people are kind of frustrated when they first start or something like that. It takes a while to build a brand. And a lot of this for me is just brand recognition. We changed from Family Savings Magazine to locally unique marketing. Right now I'm just trying to get our name familiar with people. So I'm not really expecting huge results right now. I'm just trying to let people know that we're out there, we exist, and they can use our services. So I'm getting out of it exactly what I was expecting to get out of it. Now, when I look at 6 months from now, I'm expecting that I'm going to have more clicks.
Yeah.
And I will, because that brand recognition is there. And I'll use an example of myself. I have a senior in high school, so he's getting ready to go, start applying for all the schools and all the scholarships and everything. And we were told we need to bump his SAT score up 2 points to really get the full-ride scholarship. So, and I think he could do that on his own, but I started searching for tutors, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm just bombarded. I have all of these different tutors ads popping up on everything I do.
Yeah.
And so when I finally make the decision, I have all these names that I recognize on what I want to do and do our research. So that's what I'm expecting as I continue to build my brand awareness with our name change.
Yeah, so we went live on maybe June 1st. I think it was June 3rd. She calls me June 4th, and she's like, "I already got a form fill on this. This is awesome." So, but I mean, day 3, that's pretty incredible. With the brand new name out there in the market, Mike.
Tracks the traffic.
What when you say?
Like she said, you've got
The
roughly-
database, they track everything.
So
and
you
they
can
have a
track
database.
how many people have clicked on it.
Not people, but how many devices?
Have clicked.
Yes. I'm just careful with the word people, but yes, devices, impressions. So I'm going to show a screenshot of what the report looks like. Yep. And then I did a tiny screenshot. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but it says CTR 0.17. Does anybody know what CTR stands for? Click-through rate. The click-through rate. How many clicks for how many impressions? So this is 0.17. The industry average, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 21 years. Everywhere I've been, the industry average across the country is 0.08. That's just like 0.08. That's the expected number. So we have a higher expectation for ourselves because we're better. So our benchmark is we expect 0.14 to 0.18. That's our expectation, which is double where if I saw 0.08 in my previous 2 jobs, I was like, you're right on par. You're 0.08. It's the average. If it was 0.10, I was like, kudos, we're doing good. If I see that now, I'm like, we got some work to do. We don't have ourselves at that standard. So 0.17 is right between that 0.14 and that 0.18. And this is how we hold ourselves accountable. Okay. All right. So the next slide talks about how your marketing is going to be more effective with this type of digital display. It's not just the old display, because you guys have probably heard this. There are hundreds of thousands of companies that probably provide digital display advertising. So why us is it's really that tech stack that I was telling you about, all the things. So a big key point, again, marketing 101 is meaningful creative. Becky talked about this. Simple. You have an image, a message, and a call to action. Keep it simple. KISS. Keep it simple. Smarty. Okay, we'll do that one. Precise targeting. We've nailed that. Premium placement. We nailed that. We're doing reputable websites. And then closed loop measurement we're going to get into in just a second. Okay, all these stats over here on the right-hand side, again, I'm not making these are not Stephanie Cooper stats. These are not R. Donnelly. These are down here at the bottom. So I just want to point that out. So I'll read these to you because they're very, very fun. Okay, number 1, 80% increase in brand awareness when display ads are combined with other digital channels or just channels in general. 80% recognition. That's impressive. And then 65% of users take action after seeing the display ad. Okay, so like Becky said, well, I'm seeing all these ads, but maybe I'm not even clicking on it yet. But I'm going to take action though because of it. So that means that I could either later on do a search, or I'm going to visit their website, or I'm going to take or I'm going to make a purchase. But 65% of users are going to take action when they see a display. That's powerful. That's very powerful. And then 13.8% expected increase. Okay, so for marketers, 13.8% expected increase in programmatic display ad spending from 2024 to 2025 in the US. So marketers are spending more on this. This is my number 1 recommendation for you guys. That's powerful. They're spending it. They're not decreasing. They're spending more on this because it works. And then 2 times video ads combined, which we'll go into a second. Combining it with digital display ads, video ads are going to see 2 times an increase in purchase intent. So fun. Okay, product number 1 is display. Product number 2 is what we call dynamic mobile. But any questions on digital display before we flip the page to dynamic mobile? Yes. Back to live. See, that's how my brain works. Becky and I were just talking about this. Anytime somebody says something, I go to a song. Go, Mike.
All right, so
Trying to keep it fun.
you said it was what, 0.17?
Yeah.
0.18?
Yes.
So is that 7 people out of 100?
17 people up on.
No, because it's 0.17%. So you had,
Out of 100.
sure. I mean,
So out of 100 people that view this, 1.7, 1.8.
Yes.
Whatever,
yes, yes.
are likely to click.
Correct. And our minimum package is 95,000 impressions. So 0.17 of 95,000 equals, there you go. I'm like, I don't know. Gotta get my calculator out. Does that, so yes, pretty good, pretty good.
Guys are awesome. Guys are awesome.
Thanks, we
I
tried.
know that this was right.
Oh, good, good. Okay, dynamic mobile. So dynamic mobile is device only on your phone. So device only on your phone. When you're in an app, maybe you're doing weather, you're doing sports, you're doing gaming, you are in your phone. How many of you have ever seen an ad like this? Only one, two? Yeah? So what we do is we have what's called a dynamic mobile, where they tap on this, and when they tap on this, you become the full page takeover. Okay, this recommendation is for brick and mortar. So this is going to be, is it Katie? This is a recommendation that I would have for Katie, because Katie has a store. Okay, so Katie, they would see the fashion ad, then they would go here and they would click to see your message with 3 call to action buttons. Number 1, book an appointment, get driving, or go to the website, but we're going to say go to the website. Number 2, call. They have questions. Number 3, just drive, get the driving directions. I want to go. And then the map is on the bottom. So you have 3 call to action buttons. Anytime they click on one of those, I can report how many called. I can report how many drove. I can report how many went to the website. So I can report on all of this. But that's going to be for brick and mortar. So this is not a recommendation that I would have for service, the service industry, which I believe the rest of you are service industry, because you don't have a location where they, or do you? You do have a showroom. Yeah, so for showrooms, absolutely. So remember, the targeting I said with in-market, they're in-market for a bath. Definitely, that makes sense, because I'm doing the in-market, and then I'm showing this ad up so that they can visit the showroom. So I will show you real quick, if I have it pulled up. Okay, so there we go. It's very simple. You just tap on it, and then it takes over the screen. So there's a Goodyear one, and here's a restaurant one. Okay. So that is how the dynamic mobile works. I'm keeping that one pretty simple because I've talked about, how we target and all of that. So this is product number 2, is the dynamic mobile. Thoughts, ideas, questions, comments on dynamic mobile? Got to have a store. I'm going to have them call you. I'm going to have them visit the website, or driving directions, in-app only.
Mobile, number 1, as a driver to website over, laptop or.
It depends. Most of the time, product number 1 is going to outperform on the dynamic mobile, because so if you've got the display product, usually has a higher click-through rate. Is that what you're asking? For more traffic to the website?
Yeah, I was just, because most of the stuff I mean, if I need to do that, I need to.
Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, the device type. Oh, yeah, that's something that the dashboard can answer for us. So when we go into the dashboard, we can see what percentage of the clicks came from desktop, tablet, and mobile, like your campaign specifically. But it's going to vary. But most of the time, it is mobile that's going to perform higher. Tablet is usually the lowest one. Tablets are very strong for kids. Give the kids the tablets, right? But mobile is highest on the device type that they're looking at. For display, because you can do display ads on mobile. You can do what I just talked about, program 1, that includes mobile. And then this one is only mobile.
One more question. So
yeah.
I just do it. I don't know if anybody else. I might just be the oddball, but I go to maps and I'll be like, whatever it is. So in my plumber near me.
Yes.
Plumber near me. Whatever it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's bottom of the funnel. I need a plumber now because something's going on. Like, I got to get it now. But we take that information. We can see that you went to the maps. We can see that you were looking for a plumber. And so now I can serve up these ads to you.
Using that as his search engine.
Sure.
So, like,
Yeah.
do you, I guess, would they see it on there?
No, not on the, not.
You don't, you can't control anything on Apple Maps.
Correct.
Google Maps.
Correct.
So it's just gonna pop up what's near that area.
Correct.
And you can put it in there.
Correct. So you want to work with Google. You want to work with the maps on your own to make sure that you've got that listing there for the bottom of the funnel.
I did that. I looked through, different plumbers or something. Now I go over to the internet.
That's where I can start to follow you. Correct. Yep. I'm using that information from them. Anybody else need anything? He's here. And he's gone. Okay. The third product is what Dave was asking about with like TV ads. So that is our third recommendation to you. It's what we call streaming TV. So there's a lot of acronyms out there. There's called CTV, OTT. What does all that mean? I mean, CTV stands for connected TV. Connected TV is, let's just look at the screens up here. Connected TV are the big screen of the house. That's what connected TV is. It's connected TV. It's the big screen of the house. OTT is over the top, which basically is I'm watching the program through my phone, like Pluto or whatever, but it's through my phone or through not the big screen of the TV. We combine those two together. I'm just calling it streaming TV, OTT plus CTV, all together. At the end of the day, it's called streaming TV. So you're gonna deliver full resolution. Here's the big deal: non-skippable. They cannot skip your commercial. They must watch it. They must watch it. It's going to go across DirecTV, Apple TV, Roku, Sling, etc. The programs are every program that allows for the ad exchange again. So it's not going to be the Hulu because you got to go direct to them. So some of them don't play nice in the sandbox and you have to go direct. But all of the ones that allow for us to be able to have ad inventory on, we are going to be able to have them reach your message. So of course not. No. Got to go direct to YouTube. Okay, so number one is precise targeting. On everything that we're talking about, targeting is obvious. I can either do a mile radius or I can do a zip code list. So that's like the baseline. Okay, here's my universe, my trade area. So we're always going to define that for you. And then the second is I'm going to turn on that interest or that in market or that demographic to reach the right person at the right time, the audience. High visibility, of course, this is a full video ad. And then I'm going to talk about measurement in a second, and then the premium inventory that we have. So let me jump over to a video because how many of you guys have TV commercials? Okay, how many of you do not? So we actually include the video creation for you with this program. So if you don't have a spot, don't be like, this isn't for me. I don't have a spot. I can't do it. We do it for you. So let me show you an example of one that we did. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. We're going to try. It's all the way up. Isn't it great? It's beautiful. Why it's great. Okay, let's start over. I know you guys can't really hear it, but you can at least see it. Okay, so that's a 15-second commercial. We do 15s and we do 30-second commercials. We just need some images, which please have images. You've got images. You've got images. If not, we have a photographer in the front row that can help you locally to take photography. So you're going to provide images. If you have some video footage, great. But what we do is we stitch it all together. We come up with a script. We do the audio. We put your logo in there. We make sure that it follows the guidelines of what we know is going to be an effective ad. And then we get that out on the devices and on the big screens of the house. This is powerful when you bring video and audio to life. Again, still focused on the geographic area that you care about and that they're in market for your services can really move the needle. Okay, thoughts, questions, ideas on streaming TV? That is idea number 3. That rhymes, that was good. Okay, we're gonna go to number 4. This is the final program that I'm recommending for small businesses. That being said, we do about 20 other things. We can do that as a 102 down the road, from, the social influencer, Google ads, which I'm not recommending for you guys because unfortunately our minimum is too high for small businesses. So open book, I'll say that. We also do over our audio, all anything digital we do, but these are the 4 that small businesses take advantage of the most. The last one is email marketing. How many of you guys email your current customers? 1, 2. Okay. What we do is we suppress your list with our list. Ours is a new customer acquisition strategy when we want to help you get new customers. So we're looking at least a 10% open rate. That is our benchmark. That's our expectation. That's our goal. That's where we need to be. We're going to have 10% open that message. We're going to have a great solid subject line, which is what's going to get them to open. It's going to look like it's coming from you. It's not going to look like it's coming from us or anything else. It's going to say Bath Planet on there. And then if they click on it, it'll say, something in the that it's from a server. But it's going to look like it's coming from you. We're going to have a strong call to action. They're going to open that message, and it's going to be formatted for whatever device that they're opening it for. So when I talked about Buckeye EcoCare, they did 2 programs. They did the display and the email, and that's what they've been doing for 5 years. And so this is their message. They are, promoting $25 off. They click on this. Where does it go? When they click on it, where does it go? To the website. There you go. So number 1, we're going to look at the audience. So that is going to be using our consumer graph. Let's talk about household value, the demographics, suppress out the current list. Then number 2, we are going to make sure that the creative is on point. And then we are number 3, going to verify the list. It's accurate. We are updating and scrubbing this list all the time. It's a double opt-in. That's a big deal too. So they have to opt in twice in order for us to send them emails. So these are people that are super engaged and saying, I want deals on landscaping. And we source it through multiple different third parties. Okay. So big deal. Okay. And now we are looking at reporting. So those are my products. We talked about targeting. We talked about capabilities. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure it works. And we want to show you reporting. So this is an industry, or this is an example of a dashboard that we have. So we have all the programs in one dashboard. So if you do all 4 programs, you'll see all 4 will be listed on here. We'll show you your impressions. We'll show you, the by day we've got there. And so you can see that the average industry benchmark is 0.08. I had talked about that earlier, but ours is what? Well, Becky's is, but our industry average is between 14 and 18. So we double the industry average. I just really want to hone in on that because that matters. Final performance is going to be based on several things, which I have in a future slide. Other than just this reporting, because it's a dashboard, it's clicks. At the end of the day, we want to know that the cash register rang. So that's where I go into what's called the matchback analysis. So that is one of my absolute favorite aspects of this, what we offer. So I'm going to go over that in just a second. Before I do, I've got some fun stats, a lot of numbers, but hang with me because these are important. Okay, so if we wrap up what we've been talking about, full screen engagement, 50% increase in reach for campaigns that combine connected TV, CTV, plus digital display versus one channel alone. So we do recommend, and while this stat is on CTV plus display, similar with magazine plus display, 2 working together, you should see an increase in reach. 70% increase in conversion rates experienced 70% increase in conversion rates experienced for campaigns using both video and display. So you're going to see, again, both of them working together. 33% increase in brand recall when you combine them together. And then 85% of viewers use a second screen when watching content. How many of you guys are watching TV with your phone and you're kind of looking at 2 screens at once? So that's just where we're at, multi-busy world. All right, this is my last insight slide because I want to, I mean, it's in the numbers, right? And like I said, these are, this is my slide. When I said all the stats that I'm showing you are everybody else, these are our stats, okay? So this is our RD and our case studies. When we measure campaigns, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing 2.4 times incremental revenue generated when display and CTV were combined versus one channel alone. I have a slide, actually, my next slide is going to show you an example of that. Then 20% foot traffic lift when a highly targeted display ad runs. Does anybody know what a foot traffic study is? Okay, so if most of you get address level data when you do a project. Plumbing, you know, you're getting address level data. Are you holding on to that data? You know the address. Trees, you're doing that. You got to get their address and you got to get the trees. That you're installing a bath, you're roofing, you're getting address level data. So I'm so excited because the matchback is for you. Probably not for Katie because they're coming in shopping, so you're probably not going to get that address level data. So you would want to do more of like if we qualify, because there's a level that you have to commit to in order to get a foot traffic study. But what a foot traffic study is I want to see if how many, what percentage of foot traffic was an increase. So what we do is before the campaign, we see what devices are going, the devices that are going to your store, and then after the campaign, we're going to see did those devices, was there an impact in the devices that delivered, that saw your ad and then came in.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's through like, I think we use either Cubic or Placer for that. And then 7-time return on ad spend with data-informed display strategies. Over here, 10.5% sales lift. How many of you would like a 10.5% sales lift? Becky had her hand raised the highest. And then 313,000 new households are reached. Okay, so that was a specific case study. That's just in general. Okay, this slide is one of my clients. I do this all the time. A lot of my customers are service. And so I have address level data. They have address level data. There is no point in having address level data if you're not using it to help you make marketing decisions. Use it. So to not share it with me when I promise you I have a privacy and guidelines and secure, like I don't even get to see it. It has to get uploaded to secure server or a portal, and then they look at it and then they delete it. Like I'm not going to use your data for anything other than measuring your campaign. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Okay, so this particular customer, I won't say who it is, but this particular customer did a print or is doing print plus digital. Some households are only receiving print, okay, because maybe they didn't, that particular household wasn't in market, that they were part of, let's say they were part of getting the magazine. Now for us it was Save Shared Mail, but they're part of getting the print program. Great, 0.34%. That is a strong response rate. It really is. Strong response rate. When they only saw the digital ad, it was 0.14%. Still fine. But I am not kidding when I say 1 + 1 = 3, because the results showed 0.84% response rate when they saw and got both messages. So and I have my expectations over here. So the digital only, the benchmarks, our benchmarks. If you do a digital only campaign, your response rate, they're calling, they're coming in, they're making a transaction, they are responding, is 0.05% to 0.48. Response rate, cash register rate. So it's different than the click-through rate, okay? It's responding. Yeah, response. Actual sales. What we call a matchback analysis, which is we're taking some attribution, some credit for that. The print is between 0.08 to 0.67. Okay, they were right in there. They were in there for both. When we do an integrated campaign, okay, well, I left out what the expected is. I thought that was on here. It's 0.8, but it's usually 3 times. 1 + 1 = 3. It's usually 2.5 to 3 times as strong. And so here we saw this particular slide, they had 4,074 customers that came from that. So they work very well together. Okay, it worked well together. But going back to marketing 101, I can only do so much, right? I'm going to do my part, and then you guys have to do your part. So Advertising results may vary. What I just went over were benchmarks, but you can't hold me to it because there are a lot of factors that go into an advertising campaign. Number one, effective targeting. I got you there. Like I can help you target effectively, I promise. It's not just going to be zip code saturation. We're going to really make sure we reach the right person because they're interested, they're in market, they're the demographics. Not only that, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna make sure that your ad is brand consistent. It looks just like your family savings magazine ad. It works together. It's brand consistent. It's clean, as Becky talked about. It's not cluttered. We're gonna make sure that the ad looks good. Number 2 or 3, strong call to action. So you saw on Becky's ad, it said there was a bubble and it said free consult. We have to have a button. It's just it, like a mental thing that we're like, oh, if I see it in a bubble, I'm going to click on it. So you have to entice them to click on it. So it's free consultation. It is shop now. For fashion, it'd be like shop now or free estimate. So you've got to give them something to entice them to click. Okay, and then sustained frequency. Y'all know marketing 101, one ad one time is not going to change your business much, okay? 3 months, that's our minimum. Like 3 months, you want to play ball. But we really do recommend a frequency. Give it a year. I mean, you guys are running every month because you know that you got to have frequency. So it's recommended. So that's going to play into results is if you have frequency, which you guys should understand because you're marketing. And then here's strong call to action. Hold on. Strong call to action. Did I put that on there twice? I did. Okay, but what I can't control, which this box should say, I apologize. This box should say reviews. I can only do so much. But at the end of the day, if they see your ad, y'all are in services, plumbing, trees, roofing, they're going to leave the ad, they're going to leave your website, and they're going to check out your reviews. They will, I promise you. My husband will not buy anything without checking reviews. I'm a trustworthy person. I'm like, oh, let's buy it, let's do it. But reviews are so important. I can't control that. But if I do my job on everything, but your reviews suck, yeah, I'm sorry. You're wasting your money. So this is actually a good segue that locally unique marketing offers reputation management to help make sure that your reviews are responded to, that they stay positive. Are you asking for reviews? Get that figured out, guys. Get over 4. I don't know what I don't offer it, but like got to be over what 4.2.
Right? So are you going to be at the top of the map list of businesses or are you going to be at the bottom? Half of that is decided on what your reviews are. Are you responding to the reviews? Even good reviews need to be responded to.
Yeah.
But Google pays attention to how you respond to the bad reviews. So if you're writing back, well, I told you that this wouldn't work and arguing with the client, Google's going to mark you for that. They're going to knock you down.
Yeah.
If you respond back, we want to help you fix it, whatever you can to show customer service and care for that client. You're going to stay where you're at or bump up. But
Yeah.
that's how the game's played.
It's true.
They're all big on customer service.
When I did the budget breaks, you guys remember me telling you about budget breaks? Like the guy that never did digital, he finally did digital. And we looked at every store because we did the match back analysis by store. And so there are 2 stores that were the worst for him. I went over and they were the worst reviews. And I was like, I think there's a correlation here because you're sitting at a 3.3. I'm sorry, but I'm going to look up your reviews if you're an auto company. And so I was like, work on it. I don't offer your reputation management, but find someone that does. And so he fixed that and now it's stronger. Like it's a big deal. It's real. It's a real thing. And then the last thing is that I can't help you with is who's answering the phone. Are they pleasant? We offer call tracking, which I think y'all do too. So, yes. So, yeah. And so that is something that I do with a lot of customers. We're going to record the calls. I tell you what, I am doing my job, but let me tell you, and I've had this conversation with business owners, they're not that great on the phone. Like they had them on hold for a long time. They didn't have a good attitude. They didn't even ask for the appointment. Like you got to make sure that the people that are answering your phones are doing their job because you're spending the money on advertising. If they're not doing their job on the phone, fire them. Find someone who will. But that's on you, right? So together, if we do all of these things, you're going to have great results, just like these 4 customers here. So I am just a few slides away from wrapping up, and I'll see if you guys have any questions. And don't forget, there's a fun quiz. Okay, so these are just some, again, some success stories. So an apparel retailer, so we were able to show with the matchback analysis $500,000 in incremental sales. They had a 3% lift in sale and foot traffic and a 7.8% brand lift. What they ran were solo mail catalogs in the mailbox, and then they did the cross-device display. That was their strategy that they did. Under here, there was an estate liquidation service. They doubled their ad spend after they saw their return on investment with us. Their click-through rate was double the industry average, so it was, it doesn't say it on here, but the CTR was double industry average, so it was probably about a 0.17, and 98% video completion rate. So when they saw the commercial, 98% of the people that saw the commercial watched it to the very end. And we don't let them skip it. So that means that only 2% said, I'm done watching the program when they saw their commercial. But we report on that completion rate. And they also ran digital display with that CTV. Over here, lawn and garden. So they had 159, this is a local one, 159 media influenced customers that resulted in $111,000. Again, matchback analysis. And they consistently run March through July because of seasonality, and they ran the display and the email marketing. And then the final one down here is a furniture store. 32% of total revenue was generated from 19% of the budget. 13% of lapsed customers were won back. So that's powerful. Not to get into the weeds again, but we can do a different message depending on your spend to reach lapsed customers versus, or lapsed customers get a message versus those that aren't. And they did digital display, CTV, and some direct mail. So just a few successes. Okay, so those are our packages. You might be wondering, okay, this sounds so great. How much is it gonna cost? What do you think's fair? Dare I even ask? I better not. Let's just go on. Okay, so there are 4 packages. So what I have here are the 4 different packages, what they are ideal for, what the investment is, what the CPM is. So the local display, great for brand awareness. It's going to be on desktop, tablet, and mobile, and it's going to reach, again, in-market interest or demographics. It's only $1,000 per month. That's going to get you over 95,000 impressions, which is a $10.50 CPM. Very industry